My grandma like used to teach like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC like vocal harmonies and stuff. Like they always used to talk about it, like, oh, be careful, like don't want you getting into partying and all sorts of stuff. You know, like they always used to talk about it, like, oh, be careful, like don't want you getting into partying and all sorts of stuff. You know.
Hi, this is Lauren Engel. Today I'm with CADE.
Yeah.
So you're born in Tampa Bay.
I was. Tampa, Florida. I moved out to Los Angeles like 2.5 years ago.
Are your parents from Florida as well?
They are. They're actually still there. They still reside there.
What do they do?
My dad is an attorney and my mom does interior design.
Oh.
So that's cool. So hopefully one day she can help me out with my house.
Do you get her creative side from your mom then?
I think so, yeah. It's funny, my mom's side of the family, like my grandma, like used to teach like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC like vocal harmonies and stuff. Yeah, so like they like, long story short, like they're like very much like musical, you know, like that whole side. So I think my mama helps out with the creativity a little bit.
And you did piano when you were younger, right?
Yes. I started learning on piano and guitar, and you know, just spent most of my time focusing on guitar. So,
was that something that your parents wanted you to learn an instrument, or did you request for it?
I was the one that, like, you know, really took the love for it. You know, I was always around it. My mom obviously like plays as well, and. And yeah, I guess it was more of my thing. I just felt like it was what I wanted to do. You know, I'd like watch TV and I'd like see people performing and I'd want to do it and I'd reenact it, you know. So then I asked my mom to get guitar lessons when I was really young, like 8 years old, I think. And I started doing guitar lessons, and that's kind of what got me in.
Yeah.
You know.
What kind of music were your parents playing in the house when you were growing up?
They played, you know, a lot of everything, but my mom loves like Lionel Richie and like I'm trying to think. My dad played like a lot of Creedence Clearwater Revival and I don't know, all over the place. But yeah, I always loved, like when I was little, I loved Lion King.
Oh, really?
Like, that was my thing. Yeah.
So less so of like radio music. You kind of found your own.
Kind of all over the place, but yeah.
And then, did your brother show you a lot of music when you were younger?
Yeah, he definitely got me into like the dance music world and electronic scene, because you know he was like older and he was like partying and, you know, going out and hearing this music at the clubs, and he started loving it first, and he like got me into it. So.
Which artist did he show you?
He showed me David Guetta back in like 2007 or 8, like right when like back when like it was starting to pop off, and he really loved it, and he kind of like had to like teach me how to understand dance music like the right way, and then, you know, I just fell in love with like the whole culture and the scene and everything.
Yeah.
You know?
How do you describe yourself back then growing up?
Back then I was a thinker, you know. I feel like I was always like sitting back and like paying attention to everything, and but I don't know, I like to have fun, you know. Yeah. So one of those two.
Did you like school growing up?
Yeah, I was all right with it. I mean, like, I obviously like hated the work, and like, you know, I never wanted to do any of it, but I did all right, you know. I was fine in school.
What were your favorite subjects?
My favorite was always like the extracurricular. So like I liked like when I got to do like art or whatever. But yeah, if I had to choose like an actual subject, probably English, or like literature.
Nice. And then how did you get into the music scene initially? Like, was there much in Tampa Bay?
No, it was really hard to like get into music from Tampa, because like Tampa doesn't have all that much of like a scene, if you will, and you know, I started trying by basically just doing it myself and taking everything to the internet, you know. I was like trying to do like YouTube covers like when I was little and like all sorts of stuff like that. And yeah, it was kind of hard to break out from there, but you know, along the way I was touring and I met Trevor Dahl from Cheat Codes. And he invited me to move out with him to LA after we were like recording music together and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess just happened.
How did you meet Macy CADE? I also interviewed her.
Oh yeah, did
Yeah.
you? Macy's dope. I met Macy a long time back. Her and my sister were in the same dance group together.
Oh wow.
So yeah, like our families knew each other, and she was looking for an instrumentalist at the time, like a music director, if you will. And yeah, so I toured with her back in the day. So
How
hope
old
she's
were you?
doing well.
Yeah.
What's that?
How old were you?
I was probably 14 or 15.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was like when I was younger. So I left school like junior year, and I started doing online so I could tour with Macy. So it was like kind of like during like my young high school.
So
days.
your parents were always supportive. That's so cool.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
They always you know, they were always super cool about everything.
So you express to them since you're young that you wanted to always be a full-time musician?
Yeah, I think they just knew it was my passion, you know? They could tell that, like, this is what I love to do, and that it made me happy. And they've always been very supportive of all three of us kids and, like, what we've wanted to do, which is, you know, I'm so grateful for that.
Were you ever afraid, or were they afraid of you getting into music at such a young age?
Definitely. Like, they always used to talk about it, like, oh, be careful, like, don't want you getting into partying and all sorts of stuff, you know, like, they're definitely worried about me, like, trying to do this, you know, being young and naive. So, yeah, they always brought it up as, like, a fear, but they weren't worried enough, I guess, to not support it. This is dope.
Oh, thank you. What happened after Macy CADE? Like, so then...
Ooh.
You finished high school?
Whoa, you see that? Yeah, so after the Macy CADE stuff, I decided that I wanted to start focusing on my own project. So, you know, I had met Trevor Dahl from Cheat Codes, and I started recording a lot of music with him, and that's when I started focusing on the CADE brand. You know, I found management for myself, and, you know, an agent, got everything, like, on deck and ready to, like, move forward, like, on my own project, so.
How are you putting your music out there initially, and how did you start to have people find you?
I was like trying to put stuff out on like YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, whatever. I would do SoundCloud. So I'd like post like a SoundCloud link or like a YouTube link and be like, hey, like check this out, like hope you guys dig it, you know?
Yeah.
And just kind of see where it would go, and I would try my best to like push that link like, you know, like anybody would, but I definitely didn't know what I was doing back then, so.
Were you sending your music to blogs also?
Oh yeah, I was sending stuff all over the place.
So you figure out the system like by yourself so early on?
What's
like
that?
you figure out the system of how to get your music out there so early on?
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Thank you. I don't know, you know, it's only because I like care so much to do it, you know, like this is like the only thing that really matters to me, so I spend a lot of time trying to learn and understand this business, you know.
When did your first people reach out to you for management?
The first management I found was working group management, and those guys are awesome, by the way. But they first reached out like way early on, like man, I think like 2016 or something, 2016 or something. But yeah, they first reached out and they were super excited about the project. And you know, my friend Trevor like sent over music to them, and they were really eager to work with us. So
when you signed with them, you were still living in Tampa?
I was in LA when I found my management, and I was living with Trevor at the time. And Trevor like sent my music around, and they were his management at the time as well, and they loved it, you know. So they took me on as one of their clients, and that really started like progressing things for me, you know. Finding management, I feel like with electronic music or just music in general, is really important. Really important.
And like, what was the turning point that you realized you had to move to LA?
I realized that once I figured out that there wasn't much of a scene in Tampa, you know, like, I guess it like, sorry, that distracted me. Yo. I was finishing up high school, and I just knew that like music was like my main focus. You know, this is all I wanted to do. So while all my friends were like kind of trying to figure out where to go to college, I decided that like I wanted to move out here, and that's because I realized that like back home in Tampa, like it didn't seem like there was like much of like a scene going on, you know, like obviously you can do everything like YouTube or SoundCloud, whatever, but like it was hard for me to meet other musicians or other like-minded people. So I felt like LA would be the solution for that, and especially like knowing Trevor and you know being able to meet the people that he already knew, I thought was going to be really important. So that's when I decided. Where
was your career at by the point that you moved to LA? Like, did you already have fans?
I was starting to cultivate a small fan base, but I didn't really have much going on at that point. And that was because, you know, I didn't have a lot of real music out. I was trying to, like, do everything myself and do covers and try to, like, find, like, a way to get into the spotlight, if you will. But, yeah, you know, once I started recording music in LA and, like, putting stuff out consistently is when I started to notice, like, a real, you know, buzz started to happen, which is cool.
How did you sustain yourself financially when you first moved out?
So originally my parents told me that they would, you know, give me a little bit of time, like basically like a free year to like give it a go, because I was supposed to be going to college, you know, and they kind of saw it. I was like, hey, like this is like your year of college, you know, here you go. They actually helped me out for the beginning, and then I started doing remix work to pay for my own stuff. So as soon as I had like money to be okay, I started handling my stuff from like remixes or whatever, just like side production work.
And did your brother move here first, or?
No. Well, it's funny. He like moved out here a couple years ago and then moved back. Like he was only here for like 6 months, and he just did like a short internship out here, and he loved it. But then I moved out here by myself a little bit later, and then he followed me out like a year after, so it's kind of funny. Like it's like he did, yeah, but like I was the one that was here that he moved in with, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah. How did you open for Kesha and Mike Posner?
How did I how did I get on the shows?
Yeah, and how?
So I have a booking agency called CAA. I have 2 agents, Hunter and Phil, that do a great job like landing us on cool shows, and those were just a couple of the ones along the way, but super fun. It's just cool. Like we love playing those kind of crowds, you know, like the pop shows at like big schools or whatever, where like people are like really amped about the fact that like a big artist is coming, you know. So yeah, it was super fun.
Was it difficult transitioning from like smaller crowds to such big crowds for you?
Definitely. You know, it definitely felt different, obviously, but like it's like something that takes time to learn and like understand, I feel like, you know, because on a big stage you have to be a much bigger, because you're like playing to so many more people, like your movements and everything have to be bigger, and like I feel like it takes a second to figure that out, you know, and to just like get comfortable.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you realize your Pretty Girl remix would be so big?
That I don't understand what happened there, honestly. No, but I thought it was good, and I was excited about it, and Trevor and I were both going back and forth on it, and we were super pumped, you know. We like felt this like, oh yeah, there's a chance, but it definitely caught me off guard. Like if I had to like look at every song I've ever made and decide which one would do well, no way. I would never choose that one, you know? It doesn't even make sense to me.
Was it difficult going from remixing other people to writing your own music and then putting yourself out there in the lyrics?
Well, what's funny is like I really was like writing my own music from like a young age, and I just felt that like the remixing would be a good way to break in and like get people to start recognizing my name. And I just, you know, I have fun doing it. I like to like take what I feel like as a song that I would like to change aspects of, and, you know, do just that.
Yeah.
So I guess that's, you know.
What was the inspiration behind your music video, Afraid?
So for Afraid, that one was interesting. Are you talking about the lyric video that I put out?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to do something that showed a little bit more lifestyle. And I wanted to just like straight up show people like, hey, this is what we do, like this is like how we're living, but you know, I wanted to make 3 videos that were all gonna like lead into each other and like kind of make sense. So we decided with the director, I sat down with the director and we came up with like the idea of like, hey, like what if we make like, you know, the storyline throughout 3 videos instead of just 1, and that's what we did. So yeah, I thought it turned out cool. We just wanted, long story short, we wanted a cool way, like something to watch, something entertaining while listening to the song, and just a good visual. And I thought it'd be cool to use as like a personality piece. So
what was the
neighborhood? Sorry.
What was the inspiration behind your Warning Signs EP?
You know, I was just like feeling, I guess, super anxious and overwhelmed by everything going on, and that's what sparked Warning Signs. You know, I felt like I was like having such a perfect lifestyle that something was gonna go wrong, or like I was so happy that something was gonna go wrong. You know, it's like almost like I shouldn't be feeling like this, and yeah, I guess that's what sparked the idea for Warning Sign. And then we were writing originally, you know, I was writing for an album, and I wanted to make like a huge project, and then I started like dropping down, like I dropped a Warning Sign, and then I had Afraid, Takes Me Home, and a couple others, and I just knew that I wanted to put out a couple of them like right away. So I was like, okay, fuck that, I'm not going to do that, I'll just, you know, take the few songs and put those out. So I decided to make it a shorter EP that was like easier to grasp onto, you know.
Is it since the onset that a lot of your songs have been about your relationships?
You know, it's like I don't know why it's a common theme of mine, but it always is, and I think it's because I find it like the easiest to write about, I guess, or I usually feel like writing in those situations. But yeah, I don't really do it like completely on purpose, you know. It kind of just like tends to happen.
How do you think your style of music has changed, or lyrics, since the early songs you made?
They've gotten more explicit. No, I feel like everything has just matured a lot, and you know, over the years I've figured out who I really am, and I feel like it's becoming more authentic, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, it feels more real, and it feels like, you know, older and, in my opinion, cooler. So, yeah.
How would you say you've grown as a person since you were younger?
I think I've learned a lot about myself, and you know, I'm like figuring out how to go through life better, navigate better. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that'd be, you know, the most of it is like I feel like I like have a better understanding of what I should be doing, who I am, you know, what kind of decisions I should be making, etc. You know.
What would you say have been your biggest challenges so far? Could be personal life or music, up to you.
Honestly, like anxiety. Like anxiety like gets me bad because it took me a minute to kind of get adjusted to this lifestyle, I suppose. Like, you know, the fast-paced, like, touring and doing stuff in between and writing every day and all this stuff, you know, it all adds up, you know, like, there's, like, so much of it, and I think for me, like, it took a second to learn how to, like, relax, as weird as that sounds, you know, it's like, I need to just, like, give myself some time to cool down, and I think that was, like, the biggest, like, challenge, and I still feel like I'm trying to overcome it sometimes, you know, but I feel like anxiety, like, for musicians, you know, you see it with people like Avicii, it's no joke, like, people get it, and it can really, like, you know, slow down a career, in my opinion, you know, so, or even worse, you know, so, I don't know.
How are you dealing with it now, or advice for people who are going through something similar?
I think it's important to remember that everyone gets it, you know, and that it's important to give yourself some time to like rest and recoup, you know, and like just make time for yourself, even if like your lifestyle doesn't typically like make the time for you, you know.
What are the meanings behind your tattoos?
So my most recent one is this one, Remember Why You Started, and I got this one because I was inspired by the Avicii documentary. I thought it was really interesting how, you know, like his team and everybody around him, you know, like obviously like wanted him to, you know, push harder and be the best and do his thing, and he struggled with anxiety. And it seemed like a lot of times during that documentary, it was like he wasn't doing it because he wanted to do it, you know. It's like he loves writing music, and like it seemed like he like was like, you know, getting pushed all sorts of ways. So I guess this was just like my, you know, reminder to do music because I love it and because it makes me happy, and to live life that way, not, you know, not allow myself to get pushed around by other people with different intentions, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's that one. Yeah. And the wolf for me was more of like a mentality thing. I thought, you know, I think wolves are really cool because they're like, I don't know how to explain it. They're just like, they sit back, they're respectable, but they like are go-getters, you know. They're smart and they know what they want. They're like hunters, and I don't know. I thought it was a cool way to think about like my music career, you know, like my music mentality. And then I got this key. This is 3951. This is for the house that I moved into with my brother and Trevor. And yeah, we wanted to, you know, I wanted to have like some sort of representation of like that stage in my life, because this has been like the best time ever. So that's why I tattooed that right there.
What does love mean to you?
What does love mean to me?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's like a deep one. We just went from tattoos to love. Love means everything to me, I feel. I mean, as cliche as that sounds, you know, like it's just, I don't know, what's the world without love, you know? Love brings happiness, in my opinion. Whether it's like you love something or someone, you know, like love is typically coinciding with happiness, so I think it's everything.
Last question, what do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for being, you know, a positive influence on people. I want people to, you know, remember me for my music impact, and I want people to like me, you know. So I don't know. I love
that. I love that. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is awesome. Guys. Thank you.